This 1970s basketball drama was way ahead of its time, tackling topics most shows just wouldn't touch. But behind the scenes, CBS almost turned The White Shadow into a sitcom just to avoid the controversy. Now in this video, we're revealing 15 weird facts and groundbreaking secrets about this inner-city classic that may change the way you see it forever. Before we hit the opening tip, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more forgotten TV history. Okay, now, let's head to Carver High. Number 1. The sitcom standoff. So, it sounds unbelievable now, but The White Shadow was nearly a sitcom. When Bruce Paltrow and Ken Howard pitched the show to CBS, the network liked the concept but wanted a light half-hour comedy instead of a gritty one-hour drama. Executives hoped to avoid tough subjects like crime, drugs, and sex, but Howard and Paltrow refused. They wanted realism, not a laugh track. And in the end, they won the battle, and television got one of its most honest teen dramas. Number 2. A primetime trailblazer. So in 1978, this show broke major ground. While television had seen mostly black casts in comedy, The White Shadow stood out as a primetime drama with a majority black ensemble. It also featured black authority figures like the principal and vice principal, something rarely seen at the time. And for many viewers, it was one of the first dramas to seriously portray the struggles and ambitions of urban black teens. Number 3. The crossover star. Now, one of Carver High's most memorable players was Warren Coolidge, played by Byron Stewart. After The White Shadow ended, Stewart later reprised the role in a rare crossover on St. Elsewhere, another Bruce Paltrow production. And in that series, Coolidge had moved to Boston after a basketball injury ended his dreams, and he worked as an orderly. It was a small but very cool way to connect the two TV worlds. Number 4. The MTM Cat Got Game. So, the show was produced by MTM Enterprises, famous for its logo of a cat meowing inside a circle. But The White Shadow got its own custom version. Instead of the usual cat, viewers saw a black and white cat batting at a bouncing basketball. And in the longer pilot version, the ball even drops off screen and the cat looks down after it. It was a clever little detail that perfectly matched the show. Number 5. A theme you couldn't buy. The theme song for The White Shadow became instantly memorable. It was composed by TV music legends Mike Post and Pete Carpenter, the same duo behind themes for The Rockford Files, Magnum, P.I., and The A-Team. But during the show's original run, fans couldn't buy the theme anywhere. It wasn't officially released until 1982, after the series had already ended. Number 6. Carver High meets the Globetrotters. Now, in one memorable episode, Coach Reeves teaches his players a lesson after they become too full of themselves. He sets up a scrimmage against some men from a local car wash who completely embarrass the team with flashy moves and effortless skill. Then comes the reveal. They're actually the Harlem Globetrotters. Real Globetrotter stars appeared in the episode, making it one of the show's most fun and memorable surprises. Number 7. The Real White Shadow. Now, the title of the series came straight from Ken Howard's real life. As a high school basketball star in Manhasset, New York, Howard was nicknamed the White Shadow because he was the only white starter on the varsity team. That real nickname inspired the title, and the pilot even works it directly into the story when one of the Carver players gives Coach Reeves the same name. Number 8. Breaking TV taboos. Now, this was never just a basketball show. The White Shadow tackled drug abuse, alcohol, gang violence, gambling, teen pregnancy, and sexually transmitted disease. It also featured stories about a gay student and a player with a hearing impairment.
Seem to be doing all right for yourself though, lover boy. 4 new boyfriends since you and Harold broke up.
And for the late 1970s, that was bold television. These were exactly the kinds of topics CBS wanted to avoid, but the creators insisted on showing the real pressures young people faced. Number 9. The unthinkable episode. So, in the late 70s, audiences usually assumed main characters were safe. The White Shadow shattered that expectation in its Season 2 finale when Jesse B. Mitchell was killed after being caught in a liquor store robbery. It wasn't a fake-out or a cliffhanger. He was gone, permanently. And that kind of realism was shocking for television at the time and proved the show was willing to take risks most series wouldn't dare. Number 10. Real life didn't get wrapped up. Another reason the show felt different was its refusal to tie everything up neatly by the end of each episode. Problems like addiction, money issues, and family struggles often continued with no easy fix. And that messiness made Carver High feel real. Instead of fantasy resolutions, the show reflected the truth that life often stays complicated. That storytelling style helped pave the way for later dramas that embraced realism. Number 11. A Director's Academy. So, the set of The White Shadow became a launching pad for major directing careers. Thomas Carter, who played James Hollywood Hayward, later directed episodes of the show and went on to a successful directing career. Kevin Hooks became a respected director in both film and television. Timothy Van Patten later directed episodes of The Sopranos, Game of Thrones, and Boardwalk Empire. That's a remarkable legacy for one short-lived series. Number 12. The Coach Carter Connection. So that legacy gets even more interesting with Thomas Carter. Years after acting on The White Shadow, he directed the 2005 film Coach Carter, starring Samuel L. Jackson. The connection makes perfect sense. Both stories focused on a demanding coach trying to teach inner-city players that discipline, education, and responsibility matter more than wins. And in a way, Coach Carter feels like a spiritual descendant of The White Shadow. Number 13. The Diverse Locker Room. So, the cast was praised for its predominantly black ensemble, but the team's diversity went beyond that. The writers made the roster reflect the multicultural reality of Los Angeles. There was Ricky Go-Go Gomez, Mario Salami Petrino, and team manager Abner Goldstein. And one standout episode even featured Coach Reeves joining Goldstein's family for Shabbat dinner, offering a rare look at Jewish family life on TV at the time. Number 14. Pop Culture Echoes. Even though the show only lasted 3 seasons, its influence kept showing up years later. The Beastie Boys once performed an unreleased punk song called White Shadow. And the title later popped up in the Boondocks, and the show has also been referenced in later basketball and pop culture conversations. That kind of afterlife says a lot. The White Shadow may not have been a ratings giant, but it earned real cult status. 15. The Abrupt Cancellation. So, after 54 episodes, CBS abruptly cancelled the series in 1981. And according to cast members, the network never seemed to know how to schedule or market it, and constant time slot moves likely hurt ratings. There was also reported pressure in the final season to make the show less black by adding more white characters, which clashed with the show's identity. The cancellation came so suddenly that some planned episodes were never even filmed. And those were 15 weird facts you may not have known about The White Shadow. For a show that only lasted 3 seasons, it made a huge impact on television history. But what's your favourite memory from the series, and which fact surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. From network battles to groundbreaking storylines, The White Shadow was far more than a sports drama. It proved TV audiences were ready for realistic stories, complicated characters, and issues that didn't always end happily. Its run was short, but its influence lasted for decades, through the careers it launched and the risks it took. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys the next time for another look back at a TV classic.